Hey guys, welcome back to our show, The Voices of Tomorrow, where we talk about issues of today from the perspective of young people. So today, our topic that we're going to be talking about is the national events of this month, September. But first, let me introduce my host of the show. First let me introduce myself. I'm Zainab Patel, and I'm a podcast host at Judge Meadow Community College. And here I have...
Hi, I'm Lamisah, and I'm another host at Judge Meadow.
Hi, I'm Abdul Rahman, and I'm another host at Judge Meadow, but I'm a podcast member as well.
So there's lots of national days in the year, like Pancake Day or Mother's Day or Father's Day. But we're going to focus on the ones of this month and explain the significance of them. Yeah. And we're also going to do a few of October as well. So this year already, the 6th of September, it was National Reader Book Day. So I'm just going to give a bit of background on how it started, and then we can talk about a little bit about it. So its origins were in the US in the late 2000s, and it has been popularized internationally as a day to celebrate the joys of reading by encouraging everyone to pick up a book and read. So let's start off by asking each other, what is your favorite book or book series to read?
You go first, Zainab.
Okay, so I have to say Harry Potter.
Oh, I love Harry Potter too.
That's just my favorite.
Everybody loves Harry Potter.
It's the best.
If you don't love Harry Potter, then I don't want to talk to you.
But if you haven't read it, make sure you read it.
Okay,
it's really interesting. Abdul Rahman books, trust me. Once you read the books, honestly, the books are so much more better. Have so much more detail, and they miss out the best parts of the books.
Yeah.
What about yours, Lamisah? What's your favorite book?
My favorite book, I love murder mysteries. That's what I enjoy reading. So one of my favorite ones is, there's 3 books to it, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I enjoy reading this, like, very dark, but like fun.
What is that book about? I've never heard it.
It's about somebody's murdered and someone's accused of it. So then this young girl, who's I think 17 or 19, she goes to try and investigate it, and it's very long-winded, but like it's really good.
Interesting.
Me, I'm going to have to say I'm reading this book currently, but I love it. It's called Marvel the Winter Soldier Cold Front. And if you haven't watched the movie Captain America Winter Soldier, then there's basically about one of the characters in there who is, I won't go into deeper explanation, but it's a very famous character in the Marvel universe, and it's interesting.
Does it talk about the background? And
it talks about the background, how he was made, how he was created, all of his missions and everything.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
See, we're really different, aren't we?
Yeah, we really are. I like reading magical,
I love a good
mythical books. Like even dystopian books. Like, do you know what that means?
No.
So like books that are, it's like a world that's so different to ours.
Yeah.
So like, Hunger Games, like that. Then also, have you had a Maze Runner before?
Yeah.
So they have movies for that. I've watched the movies and I've started reading the books. It's really good. It's really interesting. I do recommend it.
But books like that it's just, when you've got books like that, it just takes you somewhere else, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which
really
is why
does. I enjoy reading so much.
Books are really important for that. And at school as well, they promote reading so much.
So much, yeah.
Someone, I think, at the back, probably, I don't know, Brother Yasser or anyone else at the back who's a producer, saying, my favorite book series is How to Train Your Dragon. I'm not going to comment on that.
I haven't read that book.
I've heard of it. I've definitely heard of it, but I've not read it yet.
Never read it. Wonder what it's about.
I remember that dragon. I don't know what his name is, but like...
It was a show, right?
Yeah, it was on like, what do you call it?
CITV, I think.
No. It was like CBBS, but like the one...
CBBC.
Yeah, CBBC. Yeah.
So let me ask the audience, if you have any favorite book or book series that you'd like to share with us, maybe tell us a little bit about what it's about, then please message in or call us on 0116 48 22086 or 077-488-55055. So we know that we enjoy reading, but it's also important for us as well. So does anyone have any reasons why it might be important for us? I know we learn a lot about it in school and we hear a lot about it. Go on, Abdul Rahman.
It's important because it upgrades your vocabulary and
learn new words.
Learn new words, and it just it makes you explore different like genres and everything.
Yeah.
Like I haven't even touched on Marvel books, but that time when I told you about the Winter Soldier, it was the first time I read a Marvel book. I've watched Marvel movies,
Yeah.
but I haven't read a Marvel book, and that was the first time I was actually very astonished.
Yeah.
So like you can go to any book you want, but
You learn a lot of different
Yeah.
things
and
from it about
the main
world
thing,
as
if
well.
you want to start reading like a full-time job, but I would advise you try to find the perfect genre or something like a series like Harry Potter.
Yeah, that you enjoy.
Yeah, so then like even like a series is better because then it would
You
like
have
carry
more
on
books after
and carry
that
on.
you know you can read.
It's like a
on.
domino effect.
Yeah.
Carries on.
Books are important for that reason, obviously, but that's more of like the school version.
Yeah.
But I think books are just like special in a way because they take you somewhere else, don't they? And they just give you a
Yeah.
whole new perspective. Like, what was I've read these books. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're, you know, classic Disney princess stories.
Yes.
The darker, twisted side of that.
Oh wow.
And
That
I
sounds
enjoy that
interesting.
because it's something that we all know really well, the story of Princess Ariel or whatever, and it just takes it from a whole new perspective.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind
I think
of enjoy.
reading is also important to like like your imagination as well.
Yeah.
And also like, for example, when you want to unwind at night, or when you've had like a stressful day and you just want to like go somewhere else, like you said, like just go somewhere different and not have to buy a plane ticket or go somewhere completely different. Just read a book and it completely takes you to a different place.
It's like a natural reset for
Yeah.
your body.
It really is. Like I know that when I was younger, I used to read books a lot, and this will kind of lead into one of our next days or events, but I used to read Roald Dahl books a lot. I begged my mum to buy me the Roald Dahl set, and when she did, I was so happy. I think one of the first books that I read from that collection was Matilda, and like I'll always go back to that book. It's such a good book.
See, I'm like the opposite of you. As a kid, I wouldn't read as much because I would have found it a bit more boring. Like when my
Yeah.
mum would tell me, "Oh, read," I would have thought it was a bit more. But as I've got older now, I think I enjoy it a lot more because
You just
I
know.
value it more as well.
Yeah.
I realize how much, especially because at school when do you know when we get those like surprise assessments and we have to write a story or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
you realize how much effort actually goes into making a book.
the book. Yeah.
And some of the books you read are like so make you feel something so special that it's just like,
Yeah.
wow, how could someone have done this?
I understand what you mean.
Someone else has put their favorite book in. Their favorite book series is Infinite Mana in the Apocalypse by okay, I don't want to read the author's name because it's very hard to pronounce. But I've never seen a book.
No,
I've
thank you
never
for
heard of
sending that in.
Yeah.
But that's what we want. We want to hear new books and we need recommendations.
Yeah,
I run
we
out
do.
of books to read. We need some ideas, please.
When I was younger, I used to read a lot. Then I stopped. I'm trying to get back into it. But like, I feel like when I was younger, the books that I used to read are very different to the books that I now like.
My taste has changed a lot. Like when I
Yeah.
was younger, I used to like reading more stories that were like more mythical, you know, like fairy stories,
Yeah,
that
I
kind of thing.
understand.
Whereas now I prefer to read more dark stories.
Did you guys used to read The Faraway Tree when you were younger?
Oh,
Oh,
By
yeah.
Enid Blyton.
no.
Oh my gosh, they were the best books ever. It's about a group of children and they live, I don't know if this is completely correct, but this is what I remember from it. But they used to live near a forest, and then they used to go play there, and they used to go up this massive tree, and above there were like all these like animals, and they used to speak to them normally, and it's like a whole community in the tree. And then they used to like go up, and right now if I read it,
Yeah.
it probably wouldn't have made sense to me. But when I was younger, oh my god, I used to love those books so much. I used to read it every night before I used to go to bed.
But stories are like, when you think of your childhood, stories are a key part, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's like something that you remember, like the books. I'll remember books I read compared to movies I read because a movie is over in 2 hours.
Yeah.
A book, you read it over several years and you like kind of get,
You're
connected to
invested,
it.
like emotionally invested
And
into
like
the book.
when I do read, like if I've got a really interesting book I'm reading, I'll be like, when I wake up in the morning just to get through the school day, I'll be like, oh, I've got subjects I don't like if I've got maths on the day, for example.
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, I need to get my lessons done, and then when I get home, I'll be able to read, and it's kind of like motivation.
Yeah. Hardness of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh my
I can
God.
carry on reading it the next day, and I want hardness of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh my
I can
God.
carry on reading it the next day, and I want to read it, because sometimes I feel like one thing that puts me off books sometimes is I feel like it drags a lot.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I leave it at a point where there's a cliffhanger, I want to read on and carry on reading.
See, me, I hate cliffhangers. I hate surprises. I don't like, so I will read the next page, or I've done some, like, you know, sometimes when I'm really impatient and if I get a book and it looks to me, I will look at the back page and see what it says because I'm that.
Lamisah, don't
I
ruin
hate
books like that for
surprises.
yourself.
I can't help it.
All right, you can't have gone to primary school if you haven't read The Hungry Caterpillar.
Oh my god, that
gosh.
is something that everyone remembers.
That's an
isn't it?
iconic book.
I know. That's like, you know, like the most
Yeah.
nostalgic book ever.
Yeah.
Like when it even teaches you how a caterpillar like goes through his life.
Yeah.
Like-
But it's taught in such a smart way, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
when I was younger, I wouldn't fully understand a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. But now when
But
I
that
think of
book-
it, I realize that's what taught me the process in such
Yeah.
a simplified way. I remember at my school, like, you know how you used to have like productions and stuff at school. My youth group, when I was like, I think in F2, did The Hungry Caterpillar, and I have such good memories of it, and you know, dressing up
Yeah.
and that kind of thing.
We got a new favorite book series again. So my favorite book series is Harry Potter. Okay, that's
love
a
Harry
common
Potter
one.
too.
Yeah.
Chronicles
And
of Narnia.
Chronicles of Narnia. Okay.
I've watched the movies.
Oh
I haven't read the books.
I've read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and I've watched it.
I've only watched the first movie.
And
you
just to
need to read
yeah.
them and you
And
need to watch them all.
Book-wise, I remember reading Narnia at school. I remember that
Yeah.
one.
It's so good. It's
And
literally like
just to
Harry
clarify,
Potter.
Mr. Chowdhury's friend said that. Don't know what
Thank
the
you for
AS is
that.
for.
But you know, at school, the books we read sometimes, you know, when you're in class and they're reading the story with you, like you all read it together. Like
Yeah.
what my teachers will do is you'll have a different person and you'll play that part. And then the teacher says the lesson's ending, you have to stop, and you just want to know what happens next. I
yeah.
hate it.
I hate that.
I have that feeling like I need to know what happens. I need to know before tomorrow.
Yeah, like in school, for our GCSEs, we read an inspector calls. You two will read them.
Yeah.
I think you're reading
I'm
it right now.
reading Christmas Carol right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Christmas Carol is really good. So after Christmas Carol, you'll read an inspector calls. So that one is kind of like a murder mystery. You'll really like that one. Have
I've
you read it
seen-
before?
No, I've seen, you know, in some of the teachers' classrooms, the displays. I've seen.
Yeah.
all
You'll
of that kind of
really
thing.
enjoy
it
that
looks
book.
so good.
I think I think that is my favorite book from all the 3 books that we have to read in our GCSEs. It's like a murder mystery, and it's really interesting. I think I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's a
Yeah.
really good book. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I feel like also we touched a little bit on about how you did a school performance on the
Yeah.
Hungry Caterpillar. But I feel like in primary school, most of your school performances were based on books.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I think I was in year 5, but year 5 and year 6 we collaborated together and we did a massive school performance after school for the parents and for obviously the children. But it was a mix of all these different fairy tale books, and I remember I was a chef, and like it was such a fun, like I feel like also that doing a performance about a book also makes you want to read
Yeah.
the book as well. So like, oh wait, this is the book. This is what I'm doing in school, but there's also a book about it. Let me read it. So I feel like it's an interesting way for us also to like.
And with things like that, when schools do performances of it, they take. You're reading a book or something, like, you know, in a lot of TV shows as kids, they wouldn't really teach you good behaviors. Like my English teacher was talking about this, how some of the shows my daughter watches as like a little kid, they don't give good behavior, but books themselves, when you read them again now, the morals that they tell us are really important for us.
Yeah, the morals of books teach us a lot. Even though we might not realize it, that it's teaching
When
us
we
something.
realize it
we
now,
do.
we think, oh,
Yeah.
this is why I think good is this, bad is this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys did it in year 6 here, but I've done it the most recent. I'm the most recent to do it. A production at the end of the year.
Oh
Yeah,
my
we
God,
do it
Don't get
every-
me started, guys.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah, I had the most cringiest part ever. And you know what we did? Yeah, for production, it was, you know, Star Wars. Yeah, like the Empire Strikes Back.
No, I haven't watched.
I have not watched.
I have
Star
not
Wars.
watched.
No,
it.
I'm saying, but they did. I forgot what it called. It was something, yeah, but it was like, you know, like how you don't want to do copyright, you do like a
Oh, you do a
Oh,
different,
yeah.
like a
flip
twisted version.
Yeah, yeah.
and like, you know, like they put like oh my god, it was like to do with tennis and stuff. I was like, what? What is going on? And they made me Darth Vader.
I can imagine you as
I am-
Darth Vader.
I don't want to. This is such a sad topic for me. I was so excited for my end of year performance. I was like, you know, year 6.
Yeah.
I couldn't do mine because of COVID. I was so
Oh, yeah,
upset.
you
I
missed
remember.
out on
I missed out because
COVID.
of COVID.
Yeah.
Hello, sorry, I'm interrupting your show. Did someone mention Star Wars?
Oh, here we go.
Abdul Rahman did.
I just got my headset. Are you guys talking Star Wars? Because I believe I'm the Star Wars expert here.
No, I was just like saying it was like we were doing like a end of year like year 6 production, yeah, and we were doing it, you know, like on like a twisted. You know how you don't want to do a copyright version of like a big franchise.
So they didn't do the exact version of Star Wars.
They
They
did it,
did
like,
a different
twisted.
version. So then,
Okay, so you did like a twisted version of Star Wars.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like, you know, like I have like what's his name, Toby, whatever his name is.
Toby.
No wait, sorry,
Which
no.
Star Wars are you watching, mate?
No, wait. I'm just getting flashbacks from like back of like
Obi-Wan
the twisted.
Kenobi.
Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, instead of
Allahu
Obi-Wan.
Akbar. From Obi-Wan Kenobi, you went to Toby.
Sorry, I was thinking.
That's hilarious. Just to clarify, you know, we're all about accuracy here at Ramadan Radio. aren't we?
Okay. No, like I was linking back to like the twisted version, and you know what the name of Obi-Wan Kenobi was in the twisted version?
What was it?
Toby Wonky Nosebleed.
I'm going to leave you guys to it. It's really interesting conversation. Well done, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Should we move on to the next point? I feel like we're running
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
time, and we spoke about books for a long time. Even though the next
Even
point
the
is
next
still
part.
late.
Oh wait, we have someone has told us what their favorite book series is. War Sovereign Soaring the Heavens by, I don't want to mess up the name, Feng Qin Yang. It is a book about Chinese mythology.
See, we talk about culture a lot. I remember we had a
Yeah.
show on culture. We learn culture of through books as well. Like
Yeah.
we learn about different cultures
Yeah.
through what we read, which I think is really important. And then
Another
you
way to
have-
celebrate culture
You
as
have
well.
that knowledge at school as well, and it just
Yeah.
makes you feel good about yourself.
And I think that's also why teachers tell us to read different types of books, so you
Yeah.
learn. That's another way of them saying learn more different things about the world around you. So let's move on to our
Yes, please.
next event of the month. So 13th of September is Roald Dahl Story Day. So a
is
bit
that
of
Wednesday?
that is Wednesday, yeah, that is Wednesday. So, a bit of background. Roald Dahl was a British children's author who created world-famous stories such as James and the Giant Peach, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and Matilda. He has sold more than 250 million copies of his books worldwide, and his wild imagination captivates people of all ages across the world.
I think stories like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Matilda are all books that we all know well. Like, they're stories from our childhood. I remember reading both
Yeah.
these books. I read James and Giant Peach as well.
Yeah.
I've read a lot of his books, and I think stories like Matilda really opened your mind. And stories of Charlie and the Chocolate, that's kind of what kid dreams of, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Like, I
Charlie and
remember,
the
you know,
room full of like things that you can eat.
The
everything.
factory, the chocolate
like,
Yeah.
as a kid, if I got like, you know, like a new chocolate bar, like a big one, like a big galaxy,
Yeah.
I would always think, imagine if there's a
It's-
golden ticket inside.
I used
what
to
would
think
I
that
do?
too, especially a Galaxy bar. I always
Yeah.
used to think that with the Galaxy bar. And I remember there was like, the scenes in it are like in the movie, because they also
Yeah.
have a movie as well.
Yeah.
But like, I remember in the book, it had the room filled with things that you just can eat everything,
And
like
it
the
just,
blades of
your
grass and
imagination
everything.
when you're reading this, it
It's
just
just
goes
like-
away, doesn't it?
yeah.
It's like crazy, and it just makes you think, oh my god, imagine if I was in that situation.
Yeah.
As a kid, that sounded amazing. Right now, it makes me feel a bit sickly, but
Yeah. But like, I remember reading the book and then watching the movie afterwards. It's like what I was
crazy.
picturing in my head is now
Brought
right
to
there
life.
in front of me. Like, wow.
But books, I feel like I love books with illustrations in it, which Roald Dahl does a lot. He has a lot of pictures in his books.
Let's have a shout out for Quentin Blake to be the illustrator of the Roald Dahl books.
Yeah.
He was the one who did all of the illustrations in the book throughout, and he did a good job of it.
Because
I
we
think.
can't talk about Roald Dahl without him, because
Yeah, he is what
he is the one that brought
When
our
you think
imagination
of Roald
there.
Dahl, you think of those illustrations.
And those illustrations, like no other book has illustrations like that, which makes
Yeah.
it so different. And you look at those illustrations and think the amount of work that's actually gone into that is crazy.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say, like, I'm just putting you guys into like a scenario.
Oh no.
But what would you do? What would the first thing that would come to your mind if you opened a chocolate bar and you got a golden ticket?
As a kid, I would have been happy right now. If I got it now, I would think of selling it. I'm not even gonna
Yeah,
lie. I would
same.
probably sell
That's
it
the
for
first
money.
thing that came to my head. I was like selling it.
You know what? For me, as like a foodie, yeah, I would literally just like
Okay, but
I'd speed run to the factory.
If you remember the book, I don't want to. Well,
Yeah.
I hope everyone's read it. I'm sorry if I've spoiled the book for you. Spoiler alert. But at the end of the book, it said that whoever won the day or whoever got through the day would win a lifetime supply of
Chocolate.
chocolate. So wouldn't you want that?
No, I'm not kind of like, I'm more of a sweets person than chocolate.
No,
chocolate
I'm
makes
chocolate.
me feel a bit naughty.
Okay.
I'm chocolate.
I'm everything.
Well, of course.
Have you read a second part to it?
No, wait. I'm thinking of this, yeah. What if they had like a... this is just like in my brain, just came up right now, but what if they had like a desi version of like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Oh my god.
Instead of the chocolate, it'd be like mithai and stuff.
I think we need to get
I
Abdul
think-
Rahman to write that movie.
Wait,
or
I
that
think
book
you know,
for
in
us.
the Blades of Grass, they could be like Loki halwa, you know.
Oh my gosh.
But another one, Matilda. Matilda's a big one for us, I think.
Yes.
Talking about end of year productions, my sister's end of year production with Matilda actually.
Oh yeah. What year is your sister?
My
in?
sister's in year 7 now.
Oh yeah.
Also in her
She's in
year
Miss-
6 and
Yeah.
She's in Mr. Norman's class. I was helping on that class.
Yeah.
so they did a school production
they
on
did a school
Matilda.
production of Matilda, and you know the new movie that's come out? It
Yeah.
was more like that. But I think as well, doing that, because when you're younger you read Matilda and you think, but then if you do a production on it, there's so much, you feel so different about it. It's
Yeah.
because it's a whole new thing and it makes you really remember the book, and it brings back memories of you reading it as a child.
Yeah. I understand what you mean.
You know, reading Matilda, I don't know if you'd get nightmares of Miss Trunchbull.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I think
What I don't
Wait,
understand
I'm
is
just-
how did she lift up a child
with the
from her pigtails and swing her about, and that child did not die?
it sounds like so much pain to me. I could just imagine in real life her hair would have come out. If someone didn't
Yeah.
grab your hair and swing
How
you around.
is, she must have had strong hair. So someone has said that from Abdul Rahman's scenario that if they got a golden ticket, they would get the chocolate and then sell the chocolate.
Okay, that-
which I
you-
think that makes more sense.
They
Than
should start like a nice.
Important,
especially
because
being young people.
everything.
Yeah.
I think people who think young people have it easy, I think we have it easy to an extent, but I think we get a lot of stress from schoolwork.
Yeah, I feel like people say enjoy your childhood, but it's also, you have to understand, we enjoy your childhood, but then you also have exams
Exam
homework.
is a big thing. I think you especially right now, that's what
Yeah.
you're going through with the exams.
Yeah, like in November, December, I have mock exams, and then after that, I have my GCSE exams. And I'm not saying, I'm grateful that I even have the opportunity to live in the UK and I
Education's
have
great, guys.
education, but it's also the fact that it has an impact on your mental health as well. Like, you also, self-care is important, taking care
So-
of yourself.
What I would say to it is that I think revising for exams is important, but on the flip side, doing things you enjoy. So for me, I enjoy spending time with my family. That's something I enjoy.
Yes.
I love shopping. So that's
Okay.
what I would love to go High Cross or go Fast Park. That's what I would enjoy. So I feel like if you're revising for exams, that kind of thing, you need to try and take time for yourself as well, because
Yeah.
stressing about it is not going to get you anywhere.
No, it's not. Start early, but do it in blocks of time. That's what I've been doing.
I have 2 GCSEs this year. I've got my sociology and my religious. And as a 14-year-old, that does sound very scary to me, because
but let me say one thing. It's a good thing you're doing 2 in year 10.
that's what everyone's saying to me.
Because as much as it might not feel like it right now, trust me, I'm in year 11. I did the exact same 2 GCSEs that you did. And I'm glad I got those 2 done with in year
I feel like
10.
it's going to give me more headspace when I'm in year 11.
Because also, if you think about it, you get the best possible grade that you can get in those 2 GCSEs. Imagine how
the
much
motivation.
confidence it's going to give you. Imagine if you get 7, 8s and 9s, or even if you just pass. If you think you're not going to
Inshallah.
pass, inshallah, but imagine if you just even pass and you didn't think you would. How much confidence that would give you for your other GCSEs. And also, you've gotten 2 GCSEs out of the way. And, you know, you're doing the rest of them in year 11.
Guys, please remember me and Zainab in your duas.
Yes, please.
Another thing that I just remembered, that I know it's not actually relevant, but did you hear about what happened to Morocco?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the earthquake.
Keep guys, keep them in your duas as
Yeah,
well,
keep-
and try and donate.
Did you see what happened to the mosque in Morocco? I think one of the minarets has it's
That's
shaking,
so
and it's
sad.
one of the oldest mosques there.
So it just shows us how grateful we are. Like, we're saying education is hard, but compared to what other people are going through,
Around the
we're
world.
so lucky.
We're
and
lucky,
I don't think we go over that enough about how lucky we are to be where we are. And I know a lot of us this summer have been moaning about the heat.
Yeah.
But
this week, especially since we've been at school, but also think of it like this.
But then think about places that are a lot hotter right now.
Exactly. They're much hotter right now. So I think every little challenge, every single thing that we find hard right now, we also need to be grateful that we're not in other people's positions.
And also think it's a test.
It's a test.
It's a test from Allah to see how you cope with it. And
it's how you cope with it, which
which
what
also
will get you through it.
Links back to your exams and the stress of it.
Exactly.
Coping with it is a test.
Yeah.
And the main thing is you need to try your best, guys.
And I think also people deal with that stress very differently. Like I know people who, when they get stressed out, they get so angry. But then again, that is also a test from Allah to see how you react to that stress. If you're going to get angry and shout at everyone, then you're not really, that's not what you should be doing, is it?
One of our topics from Youth Mental Health Day is about having good, healthy friendships. And I think that's really important.
Especially now, because our friends that we make, I mean, I know a lot of people who are still friends with people from secondary school. And I think that also, like, you have to have boundaries with your friends. You have to make sacrifices with your friends. And you have to communicate with each other
But another thing, guys, is, when you're younger, we're talking about a lot of our childhood here. But when you're younger, you see TV shows and things which show best friends who stay together for life.
Yeah.
That is not always the case.
It's not realistic.
So
don't compare your friendships to things that you see on social media.
Stay in friendships that make you happy. If your friendship isn't making you happy, then it might not be working. Don't stay with it because you think you have to.
Yeah. Do what you think is right for your mental health.
Because for your life, for your exams and everything, it's not going to help you with that. It's going to just cause more stress onto yourself.
Yeah. And I think at this age, I mean, it's different for a lot of people, but I know for the average teenager in high school, I think the most important thing that we should be focusing on is our education. We have the opportunity, so take the opportunity.
Friends will come and go, and when I started year 7, I did not think from year 9 that podcast would have been my thing, like, because this was the friendship that I think we all least expected to happen.
Yeah, I think this started off as a professional friendship,
but
it's now become
so
much
close.
more than that. Like we would hang out just as friends, not just for podcasts.
I don't know what I'm gonna do when you leave.
Yeah, I'm leaving at the end of this. Hopefully this doesn't mean the end of the radio. But yeah, and I think also your mental health it's important for, like, we talk about making you reach your full potential.
Yeah.
If you have a healthy mindset, then all that's going to do is just help you be productive and carry on with the rest of your, like, just your studies with the rest of your life. So shall we go on to the next topic?
We're running out of time.
So we have from the 19th to the 25th of September, it's Recycling Week. So recycling is one way to look after your environment. And here are some of the potential effects of not recycling. So increased pollution, human health risks, destruction of natural habitats, and damage to wildlife, and increase of plastic pollution and deforestation.
So I remember in year 8, Recycling Week, when it happened, I remember there are some reels of it on, like, our Instagram and on our YouTube, I'm sure. But I remember what we did in year 8 was on the road. Some of us were chosen to go and spray paint the road and put things on it.
Yeah.
And that was such a good experience that we had.
To bring awareness as well to...
And that's what I remember about Recycling Week.
Yeah, and I think also in our school we did, I don't know if you guys have seen, but I don't know if they've taken them out now, but we had those bins and it said recycling on it. So just to, like, raise awareness and make people understand that we should recycle.
Actually, I literally just saw that Mrs. Mystery's class.
Did you see it? Yeah.
They were like 6 stats.
We even have an eco club, right?
Yeah. I think that's run by Miss Mystery, isn't it?
Recycling's good, but I'm going to tell you guys something. I hate paper straws.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that is a point, actually.
I mean, it is for the best.
But it's very
I still don't like
agitating.
paper straws.
Actually, I think something came up on the news about paper straws.
Yeah. I feel like a better alternative would be just everyone get metal straws.
Just glass straws.
Yeah, I've seen glass straws now.
They look really pretty.
I think they should do this year is that you buy it, like, you're not, I think, like, businesses, they should say we're not going to give you a straw until you buy it, and then you use that straw again the next time you come.
So let's go on to one of the last events of September. On the 29th of September, it's National Teaching Assistant Day. So on this day, we can celebrate those teachers who we can ask for help, support us, but they do deserve the recognition. and we should thank them for the help and support that they give us. Now, I mean, we have a lot of teaching assistants in our school, and there's quite a few that I can name. And I mean, I think we all can say that we appreciate them a lot.
Sometimes teaching assistants are the best people that you're gonna find, because you know when you're having a really tough lesson and a teaching assistant comes in and just says, how are you doing?
Yeah.
It makes you feel so good that,
Yeah.
and it cheers you up, doesn't it?
And I think going back to mental health, like, I think also having a teaching assistant in the
People
class
like
that you
that.
can talk to,
Yeah.
and you get close to them and you can talk to them about anything that's worrying you, knowing they won't say anything. Not that I'm saying that, we
Yeah.
can't talk to a normal teacher, but I think talking to a teaching assistant especially, I think that helps like a lot, because they know what goes on in your lessons. They're
Yeah.
there, so they know what's happening.
I think what we're talking about today, we've covered a lot of it in like our past shows that we did last year. Like Recycling Week, we did a whole show
on looking after our planet.
We talked a lot about our friendships, and we talked a lot about
Staying positive as well
education,
for,
appreciation, all of that, and culture. We talked a lot about that last year. So this is kind of like
Just
summing
talking
up.
about the specific days that are associated to these topics.
I think it's a good refresh for
Yeah.
our first podcast of this year.
Yeah, I think it is. So let's go on to the events of October.
October's going to be so fun.
Yeah. So next month, for the whole of the month, it's Black History Month, where we promote and celebrate Black contributions to British society and gain an understanding of the history. So
I remember last year I did a podcast
yeah, you
on
did.
this. I did on Black History Month, and I did it with one of our religious teachers, Mr. Howell. And I learned a lot actually from that podcast about how Black History Month and why it's so important. He told me about everything that happened when people moved here, and I think that was really interesting for me to learn.
make sure you check out our Black History Month podcast with Lamisah and
can
Mr.
find it
Howard.
on-
Does anyone remember those posters around school with the
Yeah.
black?
I remember those posters.
One of them was Chadwick Boseman, right?
Why don't you explain what those posters had on them? Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think it had...
They were like iconic, like famous, like people who like stood up to black. Like,
yeah, like prejudice.
But that's
Yeah.
why I think our school is so good, because it shows so much diversity and teaches
Yeah.
us so much about it.
About
And we
other people in the
celebrate
community.
a lot of cultures at our school as well.
Yeah.
Like when it's Eid as well, lots of people will be there for you, fasting with you.
Yeah.
When
Even on like Vaisakhi,
yeah, we
Diwali.
did a podcast on that.
Yeah,
as well,
I
didn't
did
you?
do a Vaisakhi podcast.
And it's just we're all like respecting and celebrating each other's
and we
cultures.
enjoy learning about other people's religions, their backgrounds, their ethnicities, what they do, their traditions, and I think it's good for us to learn about.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about? I know we have chosen a specific person to talk about today. So would you like to talk a little bit about what she is, what she's about?
Okay, so Mary Seacole was a Jamaican businesswoman who provided care for British soldiers. So at the time, she would care for them and help them when they were on the battlefront in the Crimean War. Seacole was in London, so it's 2 hours from us, isn't it?
Yeah.
When reports of the lack of necessities and not enough nurses for soldiers in the Crimean War were made public, despite her experience with medicine, she was rejected due to racial prejudice. A lot of people don't actually know what prejudice means, so Zainab, why don't you explain?
Well, I know we learned about the difference between discrimination and prejudice, but I've forgotten. So do you
My
know?
English teacher, she taught us a really easy way to remember it. Prejudice, just think of it as prejudge
Okay, so without the actions, you're just thinking
about what people do, so just in case you guys see, so you've learned something from us today.
So prejudice is when you have thoughts about people that
and you don't really
have
know
any reason
about what's happening. Okay, and however, with the help of a relative, she went to
Crimea.
I can't read. Went to Crimea, where she set up the British hotel to sell food, supplies, and medicines to the troops. She assisted the wounded at the hospital and was always there to help that many knew who she was. She was an amazing person who, although she faced challenges along the way, she achieved what she wanted and helped people. I think that's really inspiring for all of us.
I feel like when we think about the Crimean War, we think a lot about. I think this is who she is, but Florence Nightingale.
Yeah.
We all have heard of her.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't heard of this war.
Yeah,
So I've learned something new today as well.
So
Yeah.
like Mary Seacole was another person who also helped out, but even though she was stopped and told, no, you can't, because of racial prejudice, she was like, no, I'm going to do it. And she never backed down. Like, I mean, she helped British soldiers who, I'm pretty sure most of them weren't from an ethnic minority. I'm pretty sure most of them were, you know, British, like, white people. So, you know, she helped them even though she faced the racial prejudice.
But when we think of wars and that kind of thing, we don't think of all the people that face challenges. Like, I don't think many people, like, before today, I didn't know who she was.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people wouldn't have known. So we see all these people from behind the scenes that aren't spoken about so much, and what they actually did and how it made such a difference.
So we'll go on to the next event of October, which is Dyslexia Awareness Week. So dyslexia is a learning difficulty that primarily affects the skills involved in accurate and fluent reading and spelling. The aim of this week is to develop others' understandings and spread awareness.
Now, I know that Miss Karim in the library, she has dyslexia books, doesn't she?
She is a librarian. Imagine, our librarian has dyslexia, but she hasn't let her stop.
A lot of teachers at our school, when I first gone to their lessons and I've been with them for like a year, and then at the end of the year they'll tell me I have dyslexia. It's
like, you are such a wonderful teacher.
You're such a wonderful teacher and you do so much.
And you didn't let that stop you at all.
I think that's something really inspiring, that whatever you're going through, there's always a way to get through it.
And I feel like we do need to raise awareness about this, because I know a few people who have dyslexia, but the thing is I feel like no one really understands fully what it is. So I think we do need to raise awareness and actually like help other people understand what it is and what it does for them, like how it affects people who have dyslexia, how it affects their life. Abdul Rahman, do you have anything to say?
I'm just saying, just to like,
I've watched this movie, and it's about this boy who actually, he has dyslexia, and it shows how, I think it was a documentary, and it shows how they see things, and it was really interesting to me to like understand how it is.
I'd never understand what goes through their head, which I think is really important for us to understand, because we talk a lot about people's culture and understanding that, but things like dyslexia, we should also try and understand that,
like learning disabilities.
Yeah, and try
we need to understand what is
what's
happening
happening to them.
Yeah. So I think we will. How long is your nasheed? So we always end on shows with our nasheed.
Whether it's Ramadan or not, that's our staple.
I would say 3.5 minutes.
Okay, so I think
we'll start
maybe
ending
shorter.
the show here.
Yeah.
So some take-home key points that we have for you guys is, why don't you celebrate one of these days? Why don't you read a new book? Why don't you read a Roald Dahl book, for example?
Yeah.
Why don't you go and thank a teaching assistant who maybe has made your life a bit more easier, has supported you, has helped you, has even supported you in times where you thought that, oh, I'm not going to be able to get through this lesson? Because I know I have felt that way many times before.
Yeah.
But they're always there to help you. So why don't we go and maybe thank a teaching assistant?
Yeah.
Or even go and talk a little bit or learn a bit more about your mental health. Maybe go talk to someone if you're feeling a bit low, if you're feeling a bit sad. Recycle, make sure to recycle. Learn as much as you can about your environment and understand what you're doing to it. Because, I mean, there's a lot of things that we humans do that, you know, affect the environment. So I do have a reminder that we have our fun day that Judge Meadow and Islamic Relief are holding together. It's going to be held at Judge Meadow, and we have lots of fun events happening.
And also, I think there's something to do with Morocco at the fun day as well.
We did touch on how there's the Morocco earthquake. So it's on the 16th of September, and we're raising money for Morocco.
And wow, that's literally next week, Saturday.
We do have a reel about this on our Instagram as well, which we did with Hafsa from Islamic Relief about it.
She is organising the stalls.
We would love you guys to come. We're going to be there on the day as well. So
come and talk to us. We would love to talk to you. It's crazy how we do a radio.
I want to see my fans.
We haven't seen any. We haven't seen anyone who listens to our shows. So
come and tell us what your favourite book is, please.
Yes, or even just talk to us about any of our shows that we've done.
We'd
love
really
to hear
to guys.
and talk to you guys. So make sure you check out Islamic Relief and Judge Meadow's Instagram for that. And I guess we will end with our nasheed. So let's all say bye.
Yeah, we hope to see you on the 16th. Bye.
Bye.
Alright, I'm going to do my nasheed now. Oh Allah the Almighty, Allahu Allah, protect me and guide me, Allahu Allah, through your love and mercy, Allahu Allah. Ya Allah, don't deprive me, Allahu Allah, from beholding your beauty, Allahu Allah. Oh my Lord, accept this plea, Allahu Allah. Hasbi Rabbi Jallallah, Allahu Allah. Ma fi qalbi ghayr Allah, Allahu Allah. أفئدك يناها الله الله عالم بادشاها الله الله يوركلرين بناها الله الله إشيت الله دردمي بوهل راما رحمة إلى باشلاك ينهل راما خير إليه همك شمهم سبح لراما حسبي ربي جل الله 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 ما في قلبي غير الله 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 وطنها قانها الله الله بعد شوقانها الله الله محربا وقانها الله الله كون शान है अल्लाह अल्लाह उसकी सब निशान है अल्लाह अल्लाह सब दिलों की जान है अल्लाह अल्लाह हस्बी रब्बी जल्लल्लाह अल्लाह अल्लाह मा फी क़ल्बी गैरल्लाह अल्लाह अल्लाह या रब्बल आलमीन अल्लाह अल्लाह صل على طه الأمين الله الله في كل وقت وحين الله الله املأ قلبي باليقين الله الله ثبتني على الدين الله الله واغفر لي والمسلمين الله الله حسبي ربي جل الله 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 ما في قلبي غير الله 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 حسبي ربي جل الله 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 ما في قلبي غير الله الله الله.
That's beautiful. Jazakallah, mashallah.
Mashallah.
So to remind you, Judge Meadow Fun Day, we're collabing with Islamic Relief. It's on the 16th of September for Morocco. So please check out the JM social media.
And just to let you know, from the Nasheed, I had English, and the second one was actually Turkish. The third one was Urdu, and the fourth one was Arabic.
Okay, it's gonna end. So